Hi. Welcome back to the channel. So you guys may be wondering what is going on, and honestly, I can't really explain it. But so for today, this video will be my talk about the review of what I thought about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So it was quite a fun trip and experience, I'll admit. And I will say that there are some pros and cons, just like with every movie pretty much. I mean, I don't think there is such a thing as, well, being exactly a perfect movie, I guess. And so I will say that do I regret seeing the FNaF movie? Nah, no I don't. It was pretty good, had its funny moments, had its crazy moments, even had its scary moments. So yeah, so today I will be explaining about my review on the FNaF movie. Let's go. So in my opinion, I went to see the movie with one of my friends as a late birthday present because, well, the FNaF movie featured on October 27th in New Zealand for me. And I was so thrilled and excited to see, as you could probably see from one of my photos on Instagram that I posted. And I will admit that I was pretty much sort of been a fangirl, which isn't really, well, okay, I'll admit it is kind of me. But my point is that sorry about background noise. I will say that for the FNaF movie, I kind of expected it to be, you know, one of those movies that does have its flaws, but also, you know, bits and pieces to complete for the movie. I mean, considering the fact the FNaF film has been delayed for quite a few years and months, ever since its announcement in 2018, I believe, of the film, I can understand why. And it's just like with Avatar 2, so you can't really exactly blame anyone for if a movie's good or not because of its delayed production. But before I continue on, I will say thank you very much to Scott Cawthon and Emma and many other famous actors and actresses for doing the movie. You guys have done a great job. Lots of laughs, lots of chuckles and giggles all around, and I hope you all had fun too. So let's talk about it. Okay, so when I first saw the movie, I instantly fell in love with the intro, like with the 8-bit minigame, and the music was quite phenomenal, and it really made me smile, the fact that there were so many Easter eggs, because you could tell that they were paying tributes to not just the game itself but even the fans, like even the characters such as like Josh Hutcherson as Mike Schmidt, and that we've all seen him in the Hunger Games, and along with childhood films like Bridge to Terabithia and that, is a special treat because he's one of those actors that I've seen growing up in heaps of films. And then the legend Matthew Lillard, who I also grew up to know as being the voice of Shaggy from one of my favourite cartoons, Scooby-Doo. So that's quite amazing. And of course, well known as the Stu in The Scream, which is quite a good movie. And him as William Afton was quite expected, but at the same time, I'd say it's one of the number one things that fans were definitely looking for, especially with the whole memes. And he did an amazing job. As for Piper, who played as Abby, amazing job. Well, credits to all the actors and actresses, and even the cameo appearances of Matt Pat and Corey. It's like, wow. And even the YouTuber cameos of Dolko and all that, like throughout the YouTube like month posters, is quite a cool Easter egg. So for the animatronics, I fell in love with their designs instantly, and it just, this might sound very cheesy and I'm very sorry for that, but I'll admit that the designs were quite accurate. Like, good job, Jim Henson, good job. But I will admit, when I first saw the trailer, I was very nitpicky with Bonnie being a bit bluish, but then I got reminded that, well, it might actually be bluish in the game, just like in Help Wanted and VR, so maybe it's just the lighting that makes him purple, don't know. And I noticed that around the top, like here, they kind of made the overlay of his belly a bit too high when it's supposed to be like down near where the boat is, but those are just little nitpicks in my opinion, and you can't really blame them. I mean, it's a first movie, so of course there's going to be quite a few mistakes now and then. And I really loved the character interactions, and I feel like the way how they connected with Abby was quite a treat to watch, because it's kind of fun seeing these mysterious animatronics feel happy in front of the kid, whereas with an adult they're just like, so that's kind of amusing. Also forgot to mention another character, Vanessa. I'll admit, when I first saw her name in there, I wasn't exactly sure how on earth she was gonna be portrayed in the FNaF 1 movie, considering the fact she was only introduced in Security Breach. But, and Help Wanted. And along with the fact that her being associated with William Afton, I was kind of curious, but I really liked her portrayal of being just like, you know, she kind of felt at times average. Like one thing she's like, so you could tell that there was sort of that dodginess, awareness going around her, especially her knowing about the animatronics and the Springdogs. So yeah. What would I say about the plot? Well, I do love how they expanded on the trauma and the mental health awareness. And I'll admit, when it came to the naughty Aunt Jane, which is, by the way, a reference to Aunt Jen and Charlotte's story in the books, which is a pretty cool Easter egg, which I noticed straight away. And you know, she's sort of that typical aunt who we thought would want the best for her niece, but no, she doesn't like her as well. So it's like, wow, just wow. So it honestly felt like a reused plotline of Neto and Stitch a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with it. And one thing I do love about the film is how they actually even make the simplest objects the main focus. What on earth do I mean by that? Well, if you think about it this way, they even made the cupcake an inanimate object from the game into a savage beast in the movie. And I'm not kidding, I just fell in love with him even more. And along with the drawings becoming more proactive into the storyline is a big well done, because I personally felt like no one hasn't exactly talked about the animatronic side, where the children's souls, like how they might be trying to communicate. You know, it's not always voice acting, minus Karen Jeffers Foxy. But still, it's like one of those things where it felt very metaphoric, which I loved, and personified. And I will say though, it does make sense because, well, children love to draw. Not just children, but even I love to draw. So, you know, that's like, as in people learning sign language in a way and telling a story. So I really enjoyed that because it reminded me of how, you know, everyone would have their own way of communication and such. What do I think about the gore in this film? Well, honestly, as like everyone was saying, they probably would have expected a bit more, but I personally felt like there was already enough given for the movie, because lots of people would have had to be very careful of how much they put in, considering FNaF is a horror game. But yet, some of the kids would watch it, even though it's not really for kids. But my point is that, well, technically, if you think about it this way, it's one of those things where it gets mistaken as being for kids, but it's not. It's one of those things, unfortunately. And, yeah, like I said, there were lots of references, such as, you know, Bonnie being in the closet, like killing Hank, I think that was the guy's name, and then, you know, Foxy running, and then Chica being in the kitchen, and then the probably one that made me gasp the most and try not to laugh was that the bite of 87? No, I'm kidding. Maxine stuff, when she literally just got chomped in half by Freddy, which was quite like a whoa thing I didn't exactly expect. But it was pretty amazing, and I remember whispering to my friend, was that the bite of 23? And she was trying not to laugh in it. Probably one of the most annoying parts about the film sometimes was how sometimes they focus a little way too much on like the different characters rather than the animatronics or even William, because I thought William would have at least had a little bit more screen time, but at the same time I honestly have no clue. So it is what it is. Clearly they expanded on Mike's character, Vanessa's character, and Abby's character, so I'm fine with that, but that isn't exactly what makes it really FNaF related, in my opinion. When I saw the ending, the Springlock scene, oh boy, did get me quite hyped. And remember how I said that the cupcake is a beast? Well, he pretty much caused the Springlock suit scene. And I'll admit, when I saw it, I laughed my head off, laughed and gasped. I was like, oh, like that, because I did not expect it but yet it was so cool in a way. And then I'll admit, I kind of expected at least Matthew Lillard's face to be like, maybe, considering he was getting spray knocked on the inside, I would have at least thought there'd be a little bit of dribble blood maybe out of his nose or mouth, like just as a little bit of detail in my opinion. But I can tell they didn't want to put in too much. The pizza we're collapsing felt kind of cliche-ish a little bit, along with the Freddy screaming as well a little bit, because I've already kind of seen that a few times, but at the same time it's just a movie, it's just a first movie. What on earth would you expect? Like I said, there's no such thing as a perfect movie in one whole go. And I'll admit, one of the annoying parts after the film came out was how people were so quick to judge on it, and then straight away got negative reception, which pretty much spoiled like the hopes of it becoming a good film, which is not cool. And no offense to those who have done it, but maybe wait until nearly everyone in the whole wide world is finished. That's why I wanted to do this with you a bit later on, until the hype went from yay to like settling down a little bit. And yeah, so I remember when I watched the film, there were some parts I was like, what about? And probably one of those what scenes I had was when Abby, Mike, Vanessa and the animatronics tried to do a cute little camp fort, which is so adorable, and then Bonnie doing this weird clumsy fall just for laughs. I remember being so confused about that scene, but then every time I look back on it, I just think of it as being a symbolism of, well, I kind of forgot that there are children's souls. They're pretty much gonna act like children in front of Abby. So, why not? And it was such an adorable scene and made me smile a lot. And yeah, so I thought the sets were very cool as well. And if I had to say like my actual rating, I know I put in Instagram on 8/10, but for now, since I've done more research on it, I've rewatched it and such, I'd give it a 9/10, because it's one of those movies that you've been literally dying to see, but yet you know the expectations are going to be limited because of it being a horror film, and yet, you know, so many things going on, like COVID and da. So there were quite a few limitations on that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for my FNaF movie review. I know it's quite long and I'm very sorry, but that's what happens when you're about to move to an island for a year. But I will say, this film actually helps me think about some reviews that I've even discussed with Aaron. So I might talk about some of those reviews and see what you think, and probably post them in the future, who knows. So yeah, hope you enjoy. If you still want more content from me, then just click the notification bell and subscribe, and you'll never miss a thing. So yeah, peace out, have a wonderful day, be unique and be creative. Goodbye.